Hi there. Um, Today I'm going to read a short clip from my novel, The SEASHELL's LAMENT, which has as its one of the main protagonists a Ukrainian-born gentleman, captain, and the girl he falls in love with, Canadian woman, Jacqueline O'Reilly. There's conflict in their relationship, a short-lived relationship, and you wonder what happens. Do they ever get to meet again? And the story of their heartbreaking love and the reality of their lives so many years later. I read from page 145, where after so many years apart, I'm telling the story now, aren't I? I'm giving away some pivotal parts of the story, but I don't think anybody wants to know that the book ends on a really sad note. It's a heartbreaking story, a moving story, but I'll leave the reader with hope that they possibly could meet, albeit the meeting could be a different reality than previously when they met. This is from page 145 from the chapter Down the Long Road of Memory. The girl was still looking at her strangely in a kind of fascination, but also anticipation. Why is she looking at me like that? Why is she waiting? What is she waiting for? Excuse me. Does she know? And in the stretch of that moment, by the way, the girl she's referring to happens to be Sasha's daughter, who is grown up now. And in the stretch of that moment, when the two women who in all the vast world loved the man Alexander Bavka most stared at each other, Jacqueline knew she did know. She handed the girl back the book, barely hearing her whispered thank you, and stood frozen, watching her walk back. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I had the recorder turned on. Sorry about that. Watching her walk back through the aisles, watched her stop before a man, say something. Then the girl and the man got up, preparing to leave. When he stood up and she could see the back of him, she knew. The beloved back of his head, this tall, straight manliness of him, the warrior-like set of his shoulders, the dignity. Oh God, she had never forgotten that, his beauty. Her feet seemed to walk fast of their own accord as she rushed down the aisles and through the crowd, wandering about outside. He was getting further and further away, moving, not in a speedy fashion, but with a deliberate certainty, as if he were trying to avoid something or someone. Oh, Sasha, oh God, her heart cried. Is it really you? Is it really you? Why are you here? You came to see me, but why, oh why are you leaving? She was almost running now, but at last, almost out of breath, she stopped in front of him. Time stood still as they looked at each other. The elegant teacher turned poet, and the foreign shrimp captain turned painter, long ago from Ukraine, who had loved in a Newfoundland port. Down the long road of 8 years and oceans and confusion and hurt and tragedy and pain that separated them, they looked and remembered. People jostled them, people moved about, but they stood there, not seeing anything but the flesh and bone reality of each other. He was thinner, much thinner. His hair was graying, but still abundant. And it was neatly cut. He was wearing glasses. He had a contemplative, intellectual look about him, But there were miles in those eyes, hard miles she knew he had travelled, while not yet noticing or knowing the core of the soul-destroying crevices and craters on the route. They looked at each other for long moments without speaking, his eyes unspeakably tender as they rested on her, but heavy with some unfathomable burden. Then he turned and started to walk away. Oh, God. Oh, Sasha, why? Why didn't you speak? Where are you going? Why don't you tell me what happened? I need to know what happened. And then she sighed, the cane, and Tashiana's arm linked in his, watchful, protecting. She saw the limp, the ever so slight hesitation, the slight determined struggle with which he took each step. Oh, God Almighty, my Sasha, my darling, my beloved, this is what happened. You couldn't tell me. Oh, God, what am I going to do? Come back, come back. She wanted to run after him, but stood rooted to the spot. She recognized, with only part of her brain, fellow writers from the readings, who were staring at her in shocked subtlety mixed with pity, as the tears streamed slowly down her face. But they were still life, like cardboard cutouts to her now, as movement and awareness returned to her body, mobilizing it. Her laminated nameplate hung askew on the left side of her dress, becoming undone as she ran. She had to find Victoria, get back to the hotel. She had to tell her. She had to cry. She had to somehow find him again. And this is from the SEASHELL's Lament, my Canada Book Award-winning novel of Ukrainian-born man, a captain who was in Canada for a short period of time, fell in love with a Canadian teacher, and amid pretty well impossible obstacles. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the short excerpt that I read, and it's available everywhere. Also, you can get it in libraries, physical and electronic, digital download. And I want to wish the people of Ukraine the very best, and I hope they find a safe haven. Support for Ukraine. I've done this today, this complimentary reading in support of all Ukrainian people. Thank you so much.